Hello everyone. In this module, we are going to learn how to add text inside the Matplotlib plots. And the following are the topics that we are going to discuss. Firstly, we will learn about the text function. After that, we will learn about the figtext function. Then we will see difference between text function and the figtext function. And we will also see examples related to this. You have saw how to add text around the figures using X label, Y label, title, subtitle function in the previous module. But now we will move one step further and learn to add text inside the figure. So to add the text, Matplotlib pyplot modules provide us two functions. The first one is text and the next one is figtext. So let's learn each function in detail one by one. Firstly, I tell you about the text function. This function is used to add text on the axis at the data coordinates x and y. And the syntax of this function is matplotlib.pyplot.text, and in parentheses we pass different parameters. The first one is x, the next one is y, the other is s, and after that we will pass figtext, and the last one is keyword arguments. The next function is figtext function. This function allows us to add the text to any part of the figure, and the advantage of this function is that you can even add the text outside the axis, and this approach is used the entire figure, by which I mean the 0x coordinate and 0y coordinates shows bottom left, 1x coordinate and 1 as a y coordinate being the top right, and to make it the figure center we take 0.5 as x and 0.5 as y. So by this we conclude that it only takes value between 0 to 1. And the syntax of this function is matplotlib.pyplot.figtext, and in parentheses again we pass parameter x, y, s, figtext and keyword arguments. You have noticed that we use the same parameters in both the functions. So let's discuss each parameter. The first one is x. It takes value as a float and it is nothing but the x coordinate position to place text. The next one is y. It will also take value as float and it is y coordinate position to place text. The next one is s. It take value as a string and it is the text which we want to add. The next one is figtext. It take value as a dictionary and it is used to change the text property. So before showing you the example, I will show you the difference between text function and the figtext function. Here you see an image in which we have a bar graph. You can see the area with black border and the blue bars. This area is axis area. I fill this area with yellow color, and if you want to add text to that area, we use the text function. This function only adds the text to axis area, not on the figure area. Now you see one more border line with red color. I fill this area with green color. This green color area is figure area. If you use figtext, you can add text in both the areas, even in the figure area or even to the axis area. The only difference between both the function is that by using text function, you only add text to the axis area, and if you use the figtext function, you can add text to both the areas. Now let's see examples related to both the functions. So here is the code in which I tell you how to use the text function. Firstly, I import Matplotlib pyplot library as plt. After that, I import numpy library as np. Then I define data coordinates. For defining x, I use the linspace function of a numpy module, and for defining the y, I use the sine function of the numpy module. After that, I plot a chart by calling the plot function, and I also change the line style. Then I call the text function to add the text, and I set value as 5.7 and 0.25, and I pass sin x as a text to add on it, and I also change the color by passing the color parameter to it. Then I call the x label and y label function to add labels at the axis, and in last I call the show function to display the plot. Now I execute this code and here is the output. You can see that it adds text at the 5.7 x-axis position and 0.25 y-axis position. With this, you can say that the values which we pass as a x or y position is the axis value, not the figure value. So it adds text here. Now we will see the same example by using the figtext function. In place of text function, I call the figtext function and I pass x value as 0.48, y value as 0.6. After that, I pass text as a sin x and color as a red. Now I execute this code and you can see that here I pass the figure axis values, not the axis value. So it will add the text at the same position. I will show you what will happen if I pass axis value in figure text function. Now I change the function and execute this example. You can see the plot get minimized, which is not even visible. So with this we conclude that if we want to use figtext function, we have to pass the figure values, and if we want to use the text function, we have to pass the axis values. Now we will learn how to add text outside the plot using the figtext function. For this, firstly I import the Matplotlib pyplot library, then I import the numpy library. After that I define data coordinates, and to define x I take linspace function, and to define y I take tan function. Then I call the plot function to plot a chart, and to add text I call the figtext function, and I pass x position as a 0.40 and y position as a 0.95, and the text I pass is Python guides. And I add one more feature, which is BB box. It will take value as a dictionary, in which I pass the color of the box, which is gray. After that I pass the alpha parameter, which make it transparent to 0.3, and I also pass pad parameter and set it to 5. Now I call the label function to add labels to the plot, and in last I call the show function to display the plot. Now I execute this code and you can see that it will add text outside the axis part, and it will add box around the text in gray color. So with this we have learned to add text inside the figure, and in the next module we will learn the text functions.